Okay, here we are, suckers. UFC 242 day, Saturday, whatever. It's on. It's in Abu Dhabi. So if you haven't been paying attention, I don't know. Like I said, ESPN's changing it up. They went to Abu Dhabi, and then these cats built this stadium that they're in. It's a stadium. It's a metal structure, completely metal. So like all the tubing, all your roof, your aluminum panels. It's Abu Dhabi. It's in the middle of the fucking Middle East desert, right? So they're on some island, and they started in June, and it took like hundreds of crew, like thousands of man hours, and they stood this giant temporary metal structure. Maybe it's permanent. I don't know. It looks like a giant metal building. You know what I mean? One of those industrial buildings. It's got a roof. It's got all of the normalcies of a UFC event in any arena. They stood this thing up in like 3 months, 2 months. The main card on this thing is the Khabib Nurmagomedov against Khabib the Eagle against Dustin the Diamond Poirier. The whole slew of anyone else on this, pick any prelim, any early prelim. This is the prelim on FX right now, and I'm on channel like 60. I don't even think it's on HD. I don't know what ESPN's doing with UFC. The early prelims were on Fight Pass, so if you logged into your subscription service, I guess you saw them on Fight Pass, UFC Fight Pass. Then you're going to watch these on FX, and then they're going to have on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, right? Your subscription service. Fucking chaos, dude. I don't know what Dana's doing. I don't know what ESPN's doing. Who cares? So you got to go to 3 different structures to watch these motherfucking fights. What world are you in? Maybe that's lucrative. Maybe that's functional and it makes sense to the corporate office, the finance department. It surely shouldn't make sense to senior management. I don't know if they care. But there's always been this statement that the fight nights, pay-per-view, normal fight nights, whatever, any fight that Zuffa has put on in the last 20, 25 years, because last year was the 25th anniversary, or this year is, I don't fucking know, whatever. Remember all the giant guy, the legacy logo where he's holding and the world and whatever. It was like 13 fights. It was like 6 or 7 or 8 hours of fights. So, and that is the truth, right? Three rounders for 6, 7 fights, 3 rounders for 4, 5, 6 fights. 3 rounders and maybe 2 main card fights. Main card meaning the premier fights, right? So your co-main event and your main event. And usually those, if they were championship fights, even if they weren't for a belt anymore, they were 5 rounders of 3 minutes, right? 3 minutes for 5 rounds, 15 minutes instead of or not. What am I talking about? 5 minutes for 5 rounds instead of 15 minutes. 3 rounds for 5 minutes. So these were 25-minute fights. And this is some English dude fighting one of these. So again, and I'm all over the place. I apologize. First time in weeks I've been doing a video. But these fights are kooky. And right now they've got Tukagov against Murphy. Murphy's some black dude from England who's up and coming. He's getting mangled by this Khabib Nurmagomedov camp. These freaks from Kazakhstan, Dagestan, Turkestan, whatever, which is booming, which Putin, the Russian government is behind a lot of the financing of these athletes, because just like anything else, they want them to take over. Nurmagomedov meets Putin. Nurmagomedov's camp has individuals in it that are high-ranking, communists that are in there with Putin in the secret, police force, the KGB. I mean, it's all intermingled, and that's just the way it works, and it's okay, because fights are fights. But So you got a bunch of these Russian names in here, and then you got some of the Middle Eastern names, and then you got a sprinkling of Brazilian fighters, couple, I think maybe one or two. You got a couple, there's some female fights in this thing. None of them, these are all new names, other than the main card, main fight. The top fight, the last fight of the night, it's going to be Nurmagomedov against Poirier. Poirier just destroyed Ferguson or the other guy, Max Holloway. I don't know which one. I think it was one of them. He just ruined them. Poirier, Dustin went up to his normal weight class. He stopped sucking 35, 40 pounds to get down to 145, 155, whatever, right? So he's now fighting around 170, and this dude's a mauler. He's a mauler. He's killing people. He destroyed Holloway, or whoever it was, Ferguson, whoever fought him. I can't remember. I think it was Holloway. Beat him senseless for 5 rounds. Just had more power, more speed, looked fitter, looked stronger, looked faster, looked sicker. So now Nurmagomedov's going to fight him. And I think it's at, I don't know what weight class it's at, light, middle, I don't know. But I think Poirier's got a shot at beating this dude because he's bigger and he's stronger. And if he doesn't have to suck weight, he's a scary man. He's got knockout power. He showed that in the fight. So this one's going to be crazy. My son Jeffrey went down to a mall down in Boca Raton, and right down near Hollywood. And Dustin Poirier was in there. He was in there selling shirts. He was promoting shirts. These were styled shirts. They were Hawaiian button-ups for some name brand, high-end store down in Boca Raton. Which, if you don't know, like West Palm Beach, Boca Raton, Deerfield, if you go down this coast here prior to Miami and before you go up north to like Port St. Lucie, if you go to Fort Pierce, if you go to Stewart, if you go to Cuesta, there's a lot of money here. So Jeffrey didn't have anything to sign, so he had Dustin the Diamond sign a dollar bill. Dustin the Diamond Poirier. So yeah, he had Dustin sign a couple dollar bills for us. He took some pictures standing next to him. And Jeffrey's a little smaller. He's about the same height, maybe a little taller, but he's a little thinner than Dustin Poirier. Poirier's thick. He's got some meat on him for a small or medium guy. He's not a monster, but he's a scary dude. So I have a feeling he can go in there and he can maul. He can punch the shit out of Nurmagomedov. And maybe he's got the power where Nurmagomedov can't enforce this brutal constrictor, boa constrictor, python type wrestling on him. Poirier, I think he's got a black belt, maybe a brown belt under 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. Crazy Joe Rogan's buddy, whatever his name is, I can never remember his name. I think it's good. So I think he's decent on the ground. He's not a Nick Diaz or somebody who's way comfortable on the ground and can fight off his back like a freak and can submit you off his back, right? But always thinking. But I think this is going to be a big fight, a good fight, and I think Dustin the Diamond can knock. I think he could knock Khabib Nurmagomedov out. We've seen Khabib take some good shots to his head, but everybody's got a jaw, and few people, you can name them on your hand, walk into that arena, that octagon, that ring, whatever you want to call it, from any fight organization, and can take a shot right here and not go to sleep. It's human biology. There aren't many people that don't have that biology. They're unique, like a Nick Diaz or a Nate Diaz or a Jans Pulver. Some of those guys can just take shots and they walk right through it. After many, many shots, I don't think Khabib's that guy. Khabib takes a shot in the head a few too many times, he's going to go night-night. Just like any other person. Human. Only human. So, this is going to be a good fight. Abu Dhabi, again, builds a stadium, a metal building over there for what? Millions of dollars to house this fight. I mean, it's so stupid. The world's gotten so silly anymore. Who the fuck cares about Abu Dhabi, right? I think they did it because of the location. I think they did it to have growing interest. This is part of the expansion plan. Maybe it makes sense. I don't know. Abu Dhabi seems to be the world-class, stylish, cool place to be. Who cares? Fucking A, dude. I don't know. Can't hold them here. You can't have it down here in Florida. You can't have it up in New York. You can't have it out in, like, Ohio. I mean, you always have them in Vegas. You always have them in California and Anaheim. I get they want to go globally. I know they've got to grow the brand. It's just weird. And it's now 1:30, 1:18, and we're watching prelim fights because it's, 10 hours ahead in Abu Dhabi or whatever it is, 8 hours ahead, 6 hours, 8 hours, and they're fighting now. So, it is what it is. The one good fight, I'm going to stream it. I'll probably watch it on the internet. I will never subscribe to ESPN Plus with the pay-per-view fight option, whatever the fuck it is. So, watch the fights. I hope you watch them. They should be pretty good. Serena's playing today, 4 o'clock for number 24. 24! It looks like she might get it. She's playing this 19-year-old Canadian who hits the ball hard. But I don't know. Serena's brutal. And Rafael Nadal is in the finals again against this Medvedev. This Russian, he played a Bulgarian yesterday, beat him, Dimitrov, and this Medvedev is a 6'5", and he's a big server, and he's lanky, but he still gets around the court. So I think Rafa's going to dismantle this freak. Rafa's a robot. Serena's a robot. Serena's a little heavy. She's a little bigger because she's a mom, but she still looks scary. She's crushing the ball, and the girls didn't look too impressive. I watched the semifinal. This Ceausescu, I don't know. She's Greek or something. This Canadian, I can't even remember her name. And she played some Swiss chick, and neither of them looked stellar. They looked like they hit the ball okay. It didn't look like it was the same brand of tennis with Serena, with the Williams Monster. So I suspect the Williams Monster and Rafa Nadal are going to be your champions at the U.S. Open. Watch that today and tomorrow. Big weekend. Football started, so we're going to have some games showing there. We'll have to see. The opening game, who was it? Green Bay? Whatever? Chicago? Whoa. Sort of a snoozer, though it looks like more people watched than 2018. So maybe football's back on the comeback for viewership. Oh, we need that, right? Because they're just not a multi-billionaire organization already. Oof. So, there I am now. I'm at 12. Enjoy Dave DY Show. Comment, like, subscribe. Out.